You and your business are living in a very dangerous place. A place that's costing you thousands, maybe tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands, and for a small select few, maybe even millions of dollars. That place is what I call false positive. Welcome to The Grit, the truth about small business. My name is Matt Manero, and we're going to dig into what false positive is today. I'm going to give you two examples. The first example is, let's say you're busted broke. I know what busted broke is. Don't know how to pay next month's rent, busted broke. That's the kind of broke I'm talking about. And all of a sudden you start this new job and things start to pick up for you. You actually are starting to make a few bucks. The collectors are no longer calling you anymore, and you can actually take your significant other out for a nice steak dinner. Danger! Here comes false positive, creeping up on you, so you think you're actually doing pretty good. The fact of the matter is you're just out of a low-level pressure. You just ain't broke anymore. That's when false positive creeps in, and it's like a thermostat. When the temperature gets too hot, what do most people do? They turn the air conditioning on so they slow it back down. Then when it gets too cold, oh, I'm broke, they turn the heat back on and they start to crank it up. So you've got to stay out of false positive in two really important areas of your life. The first one is what we just talked about, when you're busted broke and you start to make a little bit of money so you ain't so broke anymore. The second time false positive creeps in is when you're on the other side of broke, when you're actually doing pretty good. You're actually starting to make some money again. Maybe you got a nice house. Maybe you're driving a sweet ride. Maybe you're actually taking $20,000 vacations with your family. Bam, here comes false positive again. So you think you're doing great. But the fact of the matter is, you again aren't moving the needle to net worth development. You're spending all your money. Where's it going? You're spending the money on the big house. You're spending the money on the fancy car. You're spending the money on the fancy vacations. And you only got a couple $1,000 banked. You're in false positive, my man. You might be in the nice neighborhood and you might drive that nice ride, but you ain't got net worth. So pardon my French. Pardon the ain'ts for today, but I'm so passionate about helping people stay out of false positive. Here's what you need to do. If you're in that first phase of false positive, spend nothing. Zero. Don't even take your significant other out to a fancy dinner. I'm talking start stacking and racking. Bring in the cash. Thousands and thousands of dollars in your savings account, and then maybe you'll take your significant other out for a nice dinner. And when you're on the other side of it, when you actually are starting to make money, you need to figure out how you can double your income. You heard me. If you're making 150, I want you to figure out how you can go to 3. If you're making 300, I want you to figure out how you're going to 600. And I don't want you to spend that increase. I want you to save that increase. So if you're making 150 and you're living pretty large and you don't have much in savings, that next 150 that you're going to figure out how you're going to make it, you're going to save all that money. So you still live the same lifestyle on the 150, but now you banked the other 150. A couple ways you're going to stay out of false positive. Number one, don't get caught up with the Joneses. It doesn't matter what your neighbor's doing. In fact, if you live in the fancy neighborhood and you drive the fancy car and so does your neighbor, both of you probably got a huge credit card debt and big mortgages and heavy car payments. It's very rare that your neighbor is really well off. They're just living large. In the great state of Texas, where I live, we call it big hat, no cattle. Don't fall in the trap of false positive. It's a killer to developing your net worth. That's our final tip for today's episode of The Grit, the truth about small business. My name is Matt Manero. Follow me on Twitter at @MattManero, and I can't wait till the next time we talk. Thanks.